Hi and welcome, Nic Haralambous. Nic is a passionate serial entrepreneur, professional speaker, and best-selling author. He's also the creator of The Slow Hustle with Nic, an online platform dedicated to helping entrepreneurs start successful side hustles. Nic strongly believes that everyone should have a side hustle, especially in this tough economic climate. Nedbank is a keen partner in The Slow Hustle with Nic. So we sat down with him to ask how ordinary people could take a leap of faith and start their side hustles. So Nic, let's just get straight to it. How do you define a side hustle?
So side hustle to me is anything that adds to your existing income streams, whether it is active investments in stocks that pay out a dividend, whether it's a skill that you provide on the weekends, a service, a product you sell, isn't really relevant to me. What matters is you've got a core stream of income and you're now stacking extra ones on top with your side hustles.
Why do you believe so strongly that everyone should have a side hustle?
So once the pandemic kicked in, people started to understand that diversified income streams were really important. And we've been kind of tricked over the last couple of decades to believe that the only way to earn income is to have a job. And I'm trying to help people understand that there is a subtle but important difference between generating income via your job, doing a job and getting paid for it, and making money. Important, but small difference. The one, you do something and somebody else pays you. The other, you have a skill that you know how to monetize and you can make money indefinitely. That's why I think it's important that everybody has a side hustle. You understand how to turn skills or product or service into money. And that means you're not dependent on a single source of income or a job.
Thanks, Nic, for that. What is one key quality that a person needs to start a successful side hustle?
I would say that in my experience, coaching people that I've coached, investing in nearly 100 side hustles in 2021, the number one thing people need is consistency. You don't need to have the best idea. You don't need to have the best network. You don't need to have the best products. What you need to do is be consistent. So if you've got 2 hours a week to allocate to building your business, build it for 2 hours every single week for as long as you can do it, because eventually you're going to get good at the thing you're doing. Eventually people will hear about what you're doing. But if you only do it for 2 weeks and go, oh, I didn't make my millions in 2 weeks, you are never going to succeed. So without fail, the people that are consistent are the ones that succeed.
Wow. So what's the one thing that you certainly don't need that everyone says you do to start a successful side hustle?
There's two things that I think people kind of get wrong. The first is everybody says they must have money. I need money to start a business. I don't have enough money, so I can't start this business. To me, that is an excuse. You don't need money. Money is one of the things you can use to build a side hustle. You could use effort, you could use time, you could use energy, you could use the assets you already have at your disposal, services and networks. There's lots of ways to start something without using money as capital to get it kickstarted. And the other is people often complain about time, that they don't have time. I can't find the time. Truth is, you don't have a time problem, you have a priority problem. So what you need is priorities. You need to prioritize better. And the phrase that I want you to remember here is, if everything is a priority in your life, then nothing is a priority in your life.
Okay, good point. But to go back to funding, are you saying it's not a good idea to borrow money to start a side hustle?
So my advice to anybody looking to raise capital to start a side hustle is to be very careful. Raising capital often means raising debt, and you shouldn't be building a side hustle to get into debt. Whether you have to pay back a bank or pay back a friend or pay back your home loan, whatever it is, it's probably not going to work out. Statistically, most businesses fail in the first 18 months of their existence. The remaining businesses that survive fail within the next 5 years. If you've got a business that's 6 or 7 years old, you are an outlier. It's very difficult to build sustainable businesses. So that's why you shouldn't go into debt or take out a loan to start something that is statistically going to be difficult to build. So absolutely approach your bank, engage with them, see if there's a way to get easy capital to start your business. But more likely what you should be doing is talking to your bank when you're looking for growth capital. When you've proven that the business can work, then go to a bank and ask them to pour fuel on your fire and expand this thing into something a bit bigger. I firmly believe, however, that the best kind of funding is sales. I don't think that people should be going out to get funding before you've tested a market, proved a product, or gained traction of any kind. The best businesses that go out and do raise funding on good terms are profitable businesses. So your goal as a side hustler should be to get all of the bureaucracy and roadblocks out of your way. Go make sales, prove that there is an audience for the product or service you're selling, and then you will get money in the bank that you can leverage to build your business further. Until you've got traction or proof of some kind, getting money into this business in the form of capital that is a loan is very problematic and quite tricky.
Thank you, Nic. That was insightful. I believe that you work quite closely with Nedbank to support small businesses. Can you please tell us about that relationship? How did it begin?
Yeah, so early on in the pandemic, I wrote this book called How to Start a Side Hustle. Off the back of the book becoming a bestseller, I decided to start a nonprofit company called the Slow Fund. And really simply, I put my own money into the fund in the beginning, and I was just giving free money away every single day to people who had side hustles or wanted to build side hustles, plus 30 minutes of coaching. I had a bunch of partners come on board to help me. And fortunately, somebody at Nedbank reached out and wanted to help us build this incredible thing that I'm building. And so now Nedbank is my main partner, helping me fund side hustles and grow the entrepreneurship base in South Africa. So every day we give away 2,500 Rand upfront in cash to a side hustler, plus access to my online Side Hustle Academy course. And when people complete that course, they get another 2,500 Rand. Invariably, what Nedbank and the Slow Fund are trying to do together is threefold. We're trying to give people the little amount of capital they need to get them over that hump of fear. Then we're trying to give them some education around basic business practices through my course. And then we want to give them some mentorship and an extra bit of money to go and implement the lessons they've learned through the coaching that I give them and my online course. And Nedbank's come on board incredibly and supported me so well with this that it's been an incredible partnership.
It sounds like it. During this initiative, have there been any wonderful side hustle ideas that have blown your mind?
To be honest, side hustles that blow my mind are very often less about the idea and more about the resilience of the people who are building these ideas. I am a capitalist at heart. I generally don't believe in non-profit entities or charity of any kind, but building this nonprofit out and partnering with Nedbank has exposed me to some absolutely incredible human beings fighting against the odds and doing some amazing work to make their lives better and the lives of the people in the communities around them. So I've funded bakers. I have funded a guy in Benoni who retrofitted his bicycle to have an advertising billboard on the back of the bike so he could drive around the streets of Benoni and Brakpan and promote businesses on his bike, which he's now gotten an extra bike and extra funding. So those sorts of ideas where people just solve problems in front of them. Just this week, we gave money to somebody who, in the looting that happened earlier this year, he realized that people couldn't get their basics, bread and milk. So he got on his bike and started just delivering bread and milk to people. Now he's turning that into a business, like a do-it-yourself, deliver your groceries on your bike kind of business. So that sort of resilience is what really inspires me doing the work that I'm doing.
It is truly inspirational. But in general, in South Africa, are we an entrepreneurial society?
I would say that in general, South Africa is an entrepreneurial society out of force. We have an incredibly difficult unemployment problem. We're a very conservative country generally. We are risk averse as human beings in South Africa. So we're entrepreneurial because we have to, because there aren't jobs, because we need to put food on the table. So yes, we are. However, the traditional sense is what you need to do to succeed is finish matric, go to university, get a job, and then work your way through your career. And I think that the tides are shifting on that narrative. We need to start helping people understand that big businesses aren't going to employ an extra 50,000 people in the next 10 years. Small businesses, however, allow people to understand how to make money, which goes back to my earlier point. It's important that people understand that being an entrepreneur doesn't mean scaling a business to billions. It means controlling your ability to make money making a product that you can sell or having a service that you can sell. So I would say that we are entrepreneurial, but we definitely need to 10x our ability to become entrepreneurial in the next 10 years.
That's a massive task, but you're right. We need more small businesses. Is there a cool side hustle that you are currently working on?
I run an online side hustle academy too. So my school, I teach people in a 6-week course to get over their fears, go through my program, and in 6 weeks go from idea to sale. And in this current cohort, which ended this week, I decided to build the side hustle with them. And this is actually it. These fantastically ugly glasses, they prevent motion sickness. And I suffer from motion sickness. Pick a form of transport, I get sick. So I decided that I was going to build an e-commerce store to sell these to people in South Africa who struggle with motion sickness like I do. So in 6 weeks, I secured the domain name, which is Buy Nausea, like bye-bye nausea, buynausea.com. I launched the website, ran some ads, got the images up on the site, imported the products because they're an overseas product, and managed to go from the idea to a sale in 6 weeks and made my first sale in week 5. And actually, I'm announcing here for the first time that side hustle I'm going to be giving away. So I'm going to be running a competition at slowhustle.org where I've now set it up, and I'm going to be giving away a massive part of that business to somebody who wants to run it for me. They'll be working very closely with me to help them through it. I'm going to pay for the stock. Their job is to go out and build the business and make sales. But that's kind of what I've been working on now. And the end result is somebody in my community will be getting a business for free.
Wow, that's amazing. But Nic, I know that you have started and sold quite a few businesses. Is it easy to let go of a business that you have started from scratch?
No, they're like my children. I don't have children, so my businesses are like my children. From the age of 16 to now, I've probably started 20 businesses, of which majority of them have failed. I've had 3 positive exits, and even the exits, when I've sold the businesses, it's really hard to let them go because you've spent your time and your blood and your sweat and your literal tears, and for me, my hair, building these businesses. So it's hard to let them go. But what I try and teach people in my program and in my book is you have to define your failure and your success triggers. And when you reach those points, you need to consider moving on. So for example, if your failure trigger is, I'm going to spend 5,000 Rand building this business, but if I don't turn a profit, I'm not going to invest any more money. When you reach that trigger, stop, close the business down, walk away, and start something new. Because if you've had one idea, you've got lots of ideas. So rather build something that's going to have traction than commit the rest of your life to working on something that's dead.
Good advice. Thanks. Lastly, Nic, how can those wishing to start their side hustles get in touch with you and your academy?
So the best place to hit up is slowhustle.org. And then to follow me on LinkedIn, just search for my name on LinkedIn. I do most of my thinking and talking on LinkedIn. But slowhustle.org has got the Slow Fund there where you can apply for funding for your business. You can take my online courses, my workshops, and you can enter the competition to win my little business, Buy Nausea.
Thank you, Nic, for your time. Your ideas on starting side hustles are truly inspirational and encouraging.